Today we are doing a tabletop review, or like an overview of sorts here, taking a look at my very first folders from Spyderco. I got two of these quite some time ago, and this one I got only like 1 or 2 weeks ago. But I'm gonna say right away that I'm not yet, at least, a Spyderco fanatic. I know there are tons of different models, tons of different steel types used for these different models. There are limited runs, there are dealer exclusive runs, etc. And it is quite addictive to some people. That much I have managed to understand. I never really caught the Spyderco bug to begin with, but that being said, it's growing on me. So the models that I currently have in my possession is a Dragonfly II, Warncliffe in VG10 steel, black G10 handle. I have a Delica flat ground with a pink G10 handle, which is nice, very nice handle material. And I also have a Endura flat Warncliffe with a black G10 handle. And I sort of reckon that there are tons of videos out on YouTube, tons of unboxing, tons of comparisons, etc. So I'm not aiming to compete with those videos or anything. I'm just doing my own thing sort of here. And I guess that most people that follow me, they already know of Spyderco. I mean, it is quite a famous brand. But all I can give my viewers is my take on these knives and designs. But having said that, I've never been a Spyderco fan, but I can definitely see the why people like them. Absolutely. Let's do some sort of unboxing here to begin with, starting with the smallest, going to the biggest. So this is I don't think we need to do the full unboxing, to be honest, but this is the Dragonfly II. Let's get this one out here. So we can unbox them all, and then we can look at the specs. Here we have the Delica 4. And last but not least, we have the Endura 4 Warncliffe. So I do at least have a good variety in terms of size. So once again, let's start with the smaller one, putting these two aside here. The smaller one here being the Dragonfly II Warncliffe. Maybe we should actually zoom in a little bit. I think we're gonna do that. Okay, this is slightly better, I think. So here we have the Dragonfly II Warncliffe. It is, as you can see, quite a small, light knife. I didn't bring my scales with me here, but I think the weight of this one is like 34 grams. I mean, it basically weighs well, nothing. G10 black G10 scales, and small pocket clip here of sorts. Won't be a really deep carry, but the pocket clip seems to be, I mean, it's very, if you get it fit, it's gonna be a snug fit. So I don't think it's gonna drop out of your pockets like that. So let's open this little blade up. Here we go. And you can see that is indeed a a worn clip. That's very clear. So the specs on this little thing is an overall length, or a total length here, of 142 millimeters, I think it should be, with a blade length of 58 millimeters and a close length of 85 millimeters. And the spine thickness should be 2.5 millimeters. I mean, it's not a large knife by any means. Super light. Like I said, this specific one is I'm not sure if they're all made in Japan or not, but this one is made in Seki City in Japan. The steel for this one is VG10, and that is perhaps not my favorite steel for a folder, but it is still not a bad steel by any means, just not my favorite steel like that. More about that later perhaps. And yeah, I think that's it's not a frame lock, it's not a liner lock or anything. The locking mechanism on this one is called something that I can't remember right now, which is a shame. But you press down on this part here on the back, and then you can close the knife. The action is semi-good, I'd say. You do of course open it up using the big hole here in the blade, which is the trademark or the signum of Spyderco. So that's about it for the specs of this particular model. We can do a sharpness test later on, but I already know that this one is scary sharp. In fact, the other two are also incredibly sharp. Then again, it is a very fine, thin edge here. Yeah, let's proceed with the Delica 4. So here is the Delica 4, a slightly larger folder in my opinion, slightly better looking handle material, since this is pink G10. I mean, yeah, that definitely does it for me. This one has a bit of a different overall design, and also a different pocket clip. This pocket clip feels, kinda cheap in a way. I mean, it is a pocket clip that is functional, but it's not really nice looking. But it's not uncomfortable in hand. Maybe we should have actually spoken a bit more about feeling in hand here when we just went with the specs here. I should say that this knife actually feels, despite its small size, it does feel pretty good in hand. I wear size 10 in gloves, fairly large hands. When placed here, it's a 3.5 finger grip. But if we do use the choil here, with some jimping on the choil, actually, that is an impressive, not an impressive, that is an interesting aspect. But it is also functional. So placing the finger here on the choil, then we can get a full 4-finger grip, and even some space here. There's also some jimping going on here. So I mean, I will say that when I have it in hand, it does feel solid. It's not going anywhere. So that is actually a great accomplishment for such a small knife, to make it feel nice and secure in hand. So good job on that. Absolutely. Let's head back here to the Delica 4. I just spoke about the clip here being a slightly larger clip. action is solid, comfortable in hand as well, no real hot spots. The pocket clip is not protruding in any way in my hand, which is good. On this knife we don't have a choil or a finger choil or anything like that, but it's not necessary since the handle is as large as it is, so it is easy to get a good grip with absolutely no hotspot. So I will have to give Spyderco some positive feedback about actually managing to do a comfortable handle. Also some nice jimping here that is semi-aggressive, not that it hurts in any way, but you get a good grip, which is the whole point with the jimping. So in terms of ergonomics, this one also feels great in hand. Looking at the specs here, this one is not VG10, this one is CPM S30V, which is one of my preferred steels for folders in general. This one I think has also been made in Japan, Seiki City, Japan. Maybe they are all made in Japan. Maybe all but the clones of them that are probably made in China or something else. But so made in Japan in a good steel, in my opinion. This one weighs, I mean, it feels like it doesn't weigh much at all. I think it's been stated to weigh 68 grams, but in hand it feels even lighter than that. It's really a featherweight knife. Absolutely. The total length of this one is 181 millimeters, with a blade length I think of 73 millimeters. The close length of this one should be 108 millimeters. So it is, we're getting up in size here, especially compared with the smaller Dragonfly II. This feels like a real a real knife. I was about to say, a useful size, but I'm not saying that the smaller Dragonfly II is not useful. But this is, more what I'm used to in terms of size references. The blade thickness here is much the same as the Dragonfly II, with a 2.5 millimeter spine thickness. I like this one a lot, not just because of the pink G10, but this is a design that actually I probably prefer this over Warncliffe, to be honest. But I like Warncliffe blades as well. So moving on to the Endura 4 Warncliffe. Now we're getting up in size quite a bit. This is actually a pretty large knife. It shares the same pocket clip as the Delica 4 here. Let's open it up. So pretty good flipping action on this one. Now we might have to zoom out a bit because the knife is getting large. There we go, slightly better, so we can fit it all in here. This is a big, this is a pretty big knife. It really is. As you can see here, there's no finger choil or anything, but if I take a full grip like this, we have quite a bit of handle length left there. You can definitely place your fingers, the way you want. Once again, some jimping here. Which is doing its job. It is. So this one is in VG10 steel, much like the Dragonfly II, and like I stated, that is not really my favorite steel, but when I wanted to, just try out, Spyderco, I just went with, a cheaper version in a sort of a random steel. Just to get a hang of what it's all about. We have a total length for this one of 223 millimeters. So that is quite a bit longer compared to the small Dragonfly II, which was just a mere 142 millimeters in total length. The blade length of this one is 86 millimeters with a close length of 126 millimeters. The blade thickness, I think this one is actually slightly thicker than the other two. This is probably 3 millimeters in thickness, so slightly thicker. And this one is also made in Seki City in Japan, which I feel is a good thing. I wonder, I'm just sitting here thinking about, I couldn't find a name for the locking mechanism here, and I wonder if this is just called like a backlock or something. I mean, it does sound logic, right? Like a backlock. Yeah, I think that is what the locking mechanism on these knives are called. It's a backlock knife. Oh, the weight of this one. Now we can actually say that the knife is getting a bit. It's not getting heavy, but it's getting, you can feel the weight a little. And I think this one should be 96 grams. So that is like 30 grams heavier than the Delica 4 and like 60 plus grams heavier than the Dragonfly II. Not a super heavy knife, but it is, now you can actually feel that you have something in your hand, which you really can't with the other two. So let's see if I can place these ones in some way. So we have that one on top. Next up we have the Delica 4. It's not easy to place on them. I've lost, but not last and least, to be honest. We have the Dragonfly II. So there we have my current collection of Spydercos. I will say that this one is the one knife that actually made me semi-interested now in Spyderco, and maybe getting or picking up some other models. So let's do a slicing test here. We can use all three knives, of course. We can use some different types of paper. Here we have some regular printing paper. Let's see what we can do with the small Dragonfly II. So I have not, done anything to the edge here. I have used the knives a bit, but I have not touched the edge up. I have not, done anything to sharpen them. I can say that much. So let's go with the Delica 4. Oops, it's a bit windy. So. And then we can go with all this. And we can go with the Endura. We have two papers, or is it one? No, it's definitely two. So let's see. The wind is catching paper. So I can't see much in the camera right now, but I hope this is all kind of visible. Let's try some magazine paper slicing as well. Let's once again start with the Dragonfly II. So slices the magazine fairly well. I really hope this can be seen. Maybe we should have zoomed out a bit. Not really sure. Let's go with the Delica 4 next here. So it does slice, the Delica slices the magazine paper, really nice. Different types of paper and paper fibers. Then we go with Endura, which should slice this incredibly well then. I mean, since it did such a good job previously. This is just this is pretty insane. I wonder if this is perhaps one of my sharpest knives out of all of my knives. Wouldn't surprise me. This is pretty much the very definition of a scary sharp knife. If only I had any leg hair or arm hair left, we could do some shaving tests. This is just, this is extreme levels of sharpness, so that is impressive. I rarely say, or I mean, I rarely talk about, extreme levels of sharpness. But I would say that this knife is insanely sharp, like scary sharp. This one is not bad either. I mean, it is sharp. It will slice paper, of course, and so will this one. But wow, this is a really sharp knife. But like I said, I'm gonna put these two on the strop later and see if I can get them, give them that extra fine edge to really, get the hairs popping and slicing paper like totally effortless. One interesting question with these knives is, what are they made for? I mean, how are you going to use them? So for this one, and the smallest of the bunch here, I would say, opening boxes, cutting strings, cutting tape, maybe some, food prep of sorts, but you will be limited with with the cutting edge and with the blade length. But I definitely see this one as a light, light carry if you want a knife to. You want to carry a knife that you won't feel is with you, like something like that. Then this one is probably a pretty good pick. The Delica here is now you get a bit more more knife to use. Still, much as the Dragonfly here, the knife, I mean the spine and the flat grind, I mean these knives won't hold up to or I guess they won't hold up to like really hard use. Then again, I mean these are knives, these are not screwdrivers or prying bars, so I mean you have to, you do of course have to think about that. But this one I could definitely see using for all the tasks you can do with this one, but also more like food prep, given that this steel is a bit more stain resistant, etc. A bit more of a light task, do it all knife, I would say. something like that. I wouldn't, pick this one with me out in the woods to do some wood carving or, feather sticking, etc. That I will say right away. And then we have this beast, this super sharp slicing monster of sorts. Even though this one has a slightly thicker blade thickness or spine thickness, I still wouldn't feel super comfortable doing two tough tasks with this one. So it will probably be some sort of light EDC knife to me. It can probably handle more than I think it can, but it's just I don't know. I mean, it's like, for some reason I sometimes feel like these knives are probably a bit, I wouldn't say fragile really, but I feel like, will they really, hold up to what kind of use will these knives hold up to? Then again, I know that the Spydercos are probably one of the most carried EDC knives out there, so I should maybe be careful with what I say in this video, especially since I haven't put them to any real tests yet, and it is a very much carried knife and model. Maybe this might not be the most carried model, to be honest, but I mean the brand itself, so to say. So I think I will have to give it some time to actually test them out, and then I can get back with a more long-term review of sorts, and I might pick up some other models. I'm not sure really which models to go with, so I mean, if you guys watching this video, if you can recommend me some nice Spyderco models that you are using yourselves, or that you think are for whatever reasons good models to go with, let me know, and I will definitely try to check them out. Can we get everything to fit in the camera here? Perhaps not. And now my dogs are seeing something. Yeah, I think this is it for now. Do I recommend these knives? Yeah, I think they are well-made knives, and they are offer them in a variety of colors and blade shapes and steels, etc. So I do think that it's definitely worth giving them a try if you are interested. I prefer this one. I will try to touch up the edge a little bit to get it as sharp as this one, because the sharpness out of the box of this one, that really impressed me. I've got to say that. Very impressive stuff.